Okay, this is by far one of the craziest things you're going to see today over on crypto Twitter.
I like my coffee dark.
Drinking out of a Bitcoin maximalist type of cup. I definitely did not expect to wake up like this today. With Biden apparently being a crypto supporter. He turned into a Bitcoin maxi. What? But also, and this I think a lot of you guys will really like, the SEC just took a major blow right about an hour ago. And of course, guys, make sure you go ahead and press that like button on this video, and let us dive right in. The story is as follows. Fred Rispoli, a lawyer, said, hey, great job, Empower US, which is an agency that basically focuses on accountability and public integrity through the power of information that basically goes ahead and makes sure these regulatory bodies are kept in line, Make sure their leash is not too loose, if you know what I mean. And as you can see right here from the SEC now has turned over 324 pages of new documents in response to our crypto conflicts FOIA requests, which are Freedom of Information Act. And it's pretty severe, it's pretty deep. And we're going to go over all of this and obviously what it means for XRP holders, as a lot of you guys were confused about these, I've noticed, even though they only came out 2 hours ago. And I've been seeing more and more speculation just about all the privileges the guys over at Ethereum got and which exact parties were involved. And trust me when I say we can't figure all of that out in just one video, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's too much, right? Hester Pierce involved, Joe Lubin having really close messaging with Gary Gensler. Hester Pierce is called the crypto mom, whom is the commissioner at the SEC. Gary Gensler is the chairman of the SEC. Joe Lubin is at least one of the co-founders, one of the initial investors in Ethereum. And we're talking here about all the connections that the SEC had with Ethereum that let them slide, let them operate, and gave them advantages over the rest of crypto. And now people are speculating more because of the supposed Ethereum futures ETFs, which have popped up recently a lot all of a sudden. I think there were 6 filings yesterday or the day before all of a sudden. And so it's peculiar because at the end of the day, only XRP is properly regulated, yet they're acting as if Bitcoin and Ethereum are too, when in reality, that's not completely the case. But first, and I hear this often, but I will, give you guys a good little analogy. I hear this idea often of, you know what? You want to make it further in crypto? Save more money. I hear that so often. I hear that crazy amounts of times. But let me tell you a really beautiful story. Listen carefully, grab some popcorn, and sit down, all right? Sit down for this one. It's extremely important. Let's put some, let's put the music up here a little bit, get the suspense going. If you want to make it far in crypto, they often say, make sure you go ahead and save more money. Let's just say you buy yourself a cup of coffee every single day at Starbucks, every single day at Dunkin' Donuts, or wherever you buy it for $5. Stop that right now and go ahead and make your coffee at home. Save yourself $5 a day. That's about $25 on a work week, which is $100 a month, or $1,200 a year. Now, what can you do with that money? You can invest it into different cryptocurrencies. And here's a beautiful story of how this girl saved up that $1,200, invested it into crypto, and then it rug pulled, and now it's $12. Should have just bought the damn coffee. Moral of the story? If you invest enough money into crypto, inevitably, you're going to get a couple of stinkers. You're going to lose a couple times, but hopefully you win more than you lose. All right. Latest batch of documents follows a May FOIA lawsuit brought by Empower Oversight in the District of Columbia. Joe Lubin and Consensus. Consensus is that company that heavily invests in major fundamental technologies, part of MetaMask, Ethereum, played a more central role than previously known in then SEC Director of Corporation Finance, William Himmon's controversial June 14th, 2018 crypto speech. That was a critical crypto speech that gave the market some anticipation as to, what to think of cryptos, but he basically had some very interesting communications with the SEC internally, because they said, hey, don't write it this way, and he still went ahead and did it. Lubin, the guy at Consensus, also apparently brought Hinman and Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin together as the speech was drafted. Investors and attorneys closely associated with Ethereum were prominent on the list of March 28th, 2018, meeting on a crypto safe harbor proposal. In August 22nd of 2019, email shows Hinman met with Simpson Thacher, a very important law firm, partner Chris Lynn, while Lynn was representing Canaan, a crypto mining client, on its IPO, and the SEC ethics office had repeatedly warned Hinman against such meetings since he was receiving millions of dollars in payments from Simpson Thacher while at the SEC. So him basically going for these meetings could potentially have some conflict of interest. And again, the ethics office really said, better not go for that. And so, of course, the crypto community is saying, hey, there might be some fraud or conflict of interest or ethical problems here. Investigate, which obviously is what the guys over at Empower Oversight are doing. And I covered quite recently how they're diving deeper and deeper into the SEC in terms of investigations because of alleged wrong hirings and things of this sort. So the investigations are occurring, but I still think this is a nice jab at the SEC to get people to wake up a little bit. Now, still, whenever I look over on Twitter, there's still so many interesting parts. The SEC versus Coinbase case just keeps getting more and more interesting. The whole Richard Hart situation is so peculiar, as MetaMask and Uniswap are all blocking these coins that have been alleged to be securities by the SEC, which again comes back to a point. The SEC doesn't make the decision, the judge does. So why take the coin off prematurely when the judge has not decided that it is the case? And like I said, DAI also is finding out a lot of stuff about, all from the FOIA request, by the way, but they're finding out that Hester Peirce, who used to be the crypto mom and people like a lot, might have actually been a lot more involved in getting Ethereum the clear pass and not actually being on the positive side for crypto, but only on the one for Ethereum, potentially because of some conflict of interest as well. And of course, people have been investigating that more and more deeply. Anyway, keeping that in mind, DAI just said the case is even stronger for an XRP ETF since it's the only digital asset with legal clarity in the US. I'm not day drinking, by the way. This is water. In glass, because I'm fancy like that. DAI said that as a response to Mike Sullick, who said, all right, there was basically some speculation regarding these Ethereum ETFs. 6 entities have rushed to file for these future ETFs. And the speculation was that it will probably be accepted quite quickly after Bitcoin gets accepted, with Mike saying if a Bitcoin spot ETF is on the horizon, a spot ETF for Ethereum can't be that far behind. With the Hinman speech, the SEC FinHub framework, and judicial decisions in Ripple and the Luna case, the case grows stronger each day that ETH is not a security, even if it was initially sold as one. And to that I'd say, nice, because this guy actually used to work for the CFTC. So I do think it is pretty nice coming from his perspective. On the opposite side, well, somebody asked, hey, when XRP ETF? And he said, of course, we can expect an XRP ETF filing as well in the wake of the Ripple decision, which, again, I'd also say it should be coming quite closely. Because SEC Chair Gary Gensler says everything is security, yet Ethereum got its free pass. So from that perspective, these filings are not that strange. But XRP really came out on top, so they should have gotten it even earlier. And to that, I'd state, yeah, the whole Ripple case brought up a new dialogue as to whether or not cryptos that were originally sold as securities, so there were investment contracts for the crypto, in this case Ethereum had investment contracts for sure, right? At the end of the day, are not securities themselves. Ethereum, Ether, right, the token, is not a security, albeit that it was sold with investment contracts at some point in the past, and that's confirmed. And so if the SEC really wanted to go after that, they could, but it would not come out with a different result. That XRP would basically be in the same situation now as Ethereum, where, again, if the Ether transaction takes place over the internet, over an exchange, you don't know who the buyer or seller is. You don't know exactly who's going to be increasing the value of Ether. You don't even have to know them just to buy it. Yeah, that it can't be a security because it does not fulfill all the prongs of Howey. And from that perspective, yeah, every crypto has basically been cleared due to Ripple's case. And again, we're seeing major blows at the SEC time and time again, and I'm actually appreciative of that. But still, in the wake of all this, like, the majority of the stuff I'm seeing on Twitter is still just confusion and more speculation about pieces. I mean, Gary Gensler, is he really good for the world, so to speak? Or is he just a career politician with no intentions of making this space better? If you really read a lot of these emails, a lot of these meetings, he's been so interested in crypto. So why did he turn around so much and say, wow, I like all this Ether conversation. I like it all. I appreciate it all. Thank you for giving us info. But I think it's all garbage, it's all securities. You sort of all deserve to go to prison, basically. It's maybe not directly what he's saying, but it kind of comes down to it. Where I'm thinking, how are you so infatuated with the space before? Gave courses at MIT about blockchain tech, yet never owned any and are so against it now. What changed? Is it like these politicians that we're seeing are, that you're just going whatever the wind blows you best, and rather that these guys over at the top have said, hey, we need you to be anti-crypto, that you're quick to change your mind? Is it because you're getting hundreds of millions of dollars? Is it because you want to be a contrarian? Is it because it's best for your career? Is it because you've got no other choice? Are your kids in danger? Do we need some help? Yeah, people have put speculatory pieces like, hey, Jeff Roberts saying, hey, check out our chart of Chair Gensler counter-programming Congress at least 6 times this year alone, which, again, is basically the idea of House Financial Services Committee announces the subcommission on the digital asset financial technology and inclusion. Bam! SEC sues Genesis and Gemini. Senate Banking Committee hearing. Crypto crash. Why financial system safeguards are needed for digital assets. 2 days after the Wall Street Journal reports that the SEC has issued a Wells notice to stablecoin issuer Paxos. SEC Chair Gensler publishes an op-ed in The Hill, a negative one obviously. Senate Agriculture Committee and House Financial Services hold major crypto hearing. SEC Chair tweets a 4-minute office hours with Gary video describing crypto assets as investment contracts, says platforms must register. House Financial Services Committee and Agriculture each hold hearings about crypto, and so forth and so on. It all goes in unison. And again, we could go deeper and deeper, but it's all interesting. I always like to refer back to our Elon Musk, whom said he doesn't respect the SEC because even though they're a proper agency, right, the idea is pretty clear. Protect you as investors. They're not doing a good job. Yet the justice system, I still trust. And, these judges, even though a lot of these guys are probably not there for the right reasons, I still think the U.S. judgment system, for the most part, does come out pretty good. I mean, Ripple did win, so at the end of the day, it's not completely destroyed just quite yet. And guys, trust me when I say, we've been talking about XRP for such a long while. We've been talking about the SEC for such a long while. At the end of the day, guys, I think if we just close our eyes for a little bit and look back upon this space a couple months from now, so much is going to change, right? Because right now, all these talks are getting further and further to a conclusion because the SEC can't hide from many of these things any longer, right? At first, they just alleged the Ripple did this, Ripple did that. They're alleging it with all these other places too. But eventually, point or push is going to come to shove where we can probably not beat around the bush anymore and say the SEC is just doing all these things to protect people. No, it's going to be really clear they had some agendas and they're all going to be laid flat on the table. And we're going to, of course, get the conclusion that they don't decide over crypto, all that type of stuff. It's coming. It's taking time, but it's coming. And more is being found out almost every single day. I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying it. Whenever the SEC gets smacked down a little bit, I always appreciate that. And I also always appreciate you guys pressing that like button and stopping by. Guys, make sure you put the notification bell on for in case something crazy drops in the crypto space. You want to be notified. And that's about it. Hopefully see you guys again in another crypto video tomorrow.